Hello everybody, Andy here again. I watched a video the other day by Gary Anakin 1814 called Guilty Pleasures. I must admit I meant to do a response and didn't get around to it. Thought about my sort of guilty pleasures that I've got, but it then got me thinking about another side of things. And why do we have guilty pleasures? Why should we feel guilty about enjoying anything in particular? Gary was talking about films and music, TV programs and that sort of thing. But why should we feel guilty just because we like something and maybe other people don't? The whole point of this is, do we analyse things too much? I must admit I find myself doing that myself. TV programs, my wife hates it. I sit down and watch certain TV programs with her, especially like soap operas, those type of things, which you know aren't real. They may be very well done, very well acted, scripted, etc, etc. But I sit there and I just can't get it out of my head that they are actually not real. They're imaginary, you know, these are actors, etc. I know this works right across the films, every movies, the whole lot. Most TV programs aren't factual by their very nature. So you can think about this, but I tend to sort of start picking holes in things like that, and it annoys her immensely, and I totally understand that, so I tend not to watch those sort of things. But why can't you just sit back, chill out and maybe enjoy the ride, sort of sit back, as I said, and just watch these programs for what they are, rather than try and analyse them too much. And as I said, I'm one of the worst culprits that you can get about these sort of things. So as I said, why should we feel guilty about it? You know, I think it comes from sort of critics and friends and colleagues, and you read all these things in magazines about the best things, the coolest things to listen to, the hippest films to watch, the best clothes to wear and all this sort of thing. And it builds inside you like a certain guilt, the fact that you have to sort of comply. You have to sort of go along with these rules that these critics or whatever write down. So, but why should you be bound by them? We all are. The very nature of a guilty pleasures video, and I'm not criticising Gary in any means whatsoever, because I thought about doing the same sort of thing myself, but by the very nature of that video we're actually saying that maybe we shouldn't be liking certain things. Now why? I mean, everybody has their own personal taste. We are all different in our own little ways. We've all got our own little quirks, idiosyncrasies and things like that. I like things that I know nobody else likes, and I do actually find it very refreshing to be able to sit down with somebody who feels the same way as me, that you can like whatever you like. It doesn't matter if it's bad, or if someone says it's bad, why shouldn't you like it, you know? So, and it's great to sit down with somebody like that and actually sort of have a chat and have no boundaries. You know, you're not feeling that you're trying to impress this person by liking something or not liking this because it's hip to like that. That's another thing. There are certain things that films, music, that everybody is expected to like. These sort of things that are put on pedestals, whether they be the greatest albums of all time, the best films of all time, and you think, well actually I don't really like that, you know, but you're sort of half scared to say anything to certain people because they'll think that you're, you know, as a Philistine, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know, he's not culturally hip or whatever it might be. So I just wonder whether anyone else feels the same way. Maybe we should just sort of chill out, sit back, enjoy the ride and like what you want to like. Why worry about all these lists of the top 10 places that you should go to, the top 10 films that you should like, the best things of all time? We all have our own personal list. Any list that comes up isn't going to be what you want, because it's going to be either one person's opinion, which is never totally valid, is it? It's just one person's opinion, or it's going to be a conglomeration of lots of other votes and things like that. Yes, certain things will come to the top of the tree, but you'll watch sort of list of greatest albums. I know I have tackled this subject to an extent in the past, but you'll watch greatest albums of all time, and you'll see there's certain ones at the top, by Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, or Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles, and you think, well actually, you know, I like the band but I don't like that. So is it people just putting certain things up there? You'll always guarantee that certain films will be in the top of the top 10 lists of films of all time, and you'll probably think, well I've never actually watched that film, or I couldn't sit through it like that. Anyway, I'm going on, so I'll be interested to know if anyone feels the same way. If you've got guilty pleasures, why are they guilty pleasures? Why should they be guilty? Why shouldn't you like exactly what you like and actually advertise it and say, oh, I like that, I don't care what you think, it's my favourite, so that's up to me, isn't it? So anyway, thanks for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this little, slight little rant, I suppose, but you know, a civilised rant, as I like to do them. Anyway, I'd be interested to know what anybody else thinks about this. Do we analyse things too much, and does it actually stop us having pleasure by all this analytical stuff? As I said, I'm as bad as anyone else, so maybe I should think about it a bit more myself. But anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.